So I'm just going to pick up where I left off in the last video. I was about to open this DND file with Mega. Here we go. You can resize this to fit the screen with this button. You can view the branch lengths, show hide branch lengths. Those are the lengths of your branches, which actually means something. Go look it up. You can resize it, but let's do this first. Let's use a radiation. This is an unrooted phylogenetic tree. You can resize it again with this button. There we go. And another useful one is the circle tree. You can also sort of normalize the lengths. Let's see, I think it's this button. Yep. So it's all sort of symmetric. That also works when you're doing the straight and the curved. Curved is very cool. Traditional curved. Anyway, you can play around with this. There's quite a bit you can do using Mega to create phylogenetic trees. The next thing I want to show you is how to use those alignment scores. So we created this log file in Clustal. Go ahead and open that up, and you can see that there's the full gamut of permutations of pairwise alignments. So sequence 1 compared or aligned with sequence 2, sequence 1 with 3, etc., down to sequence 39 with sequence 40, right there. And the value you want to get is this percent identical ID. That's the degree to which they were aligned. It's a percentage. So sequence 1 and sequence 2 were 71% identical in their composition, in their configural makeup. To get all this parsed out, go ahead and just copy it all. Maybe the easiest way is to hold Shift, scroll down to the bottom here, and while holding Shift, click there, copy, go to Excel, paste. It's all going to paste into a single column, which is pretty annoying. Go to Data, Text to Columns, Fixed Width, Next, and you want to pull out, let's see, you want to pull out this first number, the sequence 1 number, the sequence 2 number, and this number here, the percent identical. Now make sure you leave enough room in these two columns to account for larger numbers. So we have 2-digit numbers down here, but if we had 3-digit or 4-digit numbers, you'd want to separate those a little bit more. Hit finish. Get rid of the columns you don't want. I don't want these columns. And you're just left with this stuff. So this is sequence 1 being compared to sequence 2, and this is their alignment percentage. And now what you can do with this is, let's say you were aligning multiple projects or multiple companies' projects or projects over time. You could then go back and see which sequences belong to which projects, and then you could take an average of those alignment scores or something like that, and you can see to what degree they were aligned. You could also see what types of activities each of these sequences belong to, and then make averages over types of activities. The way to do that I have outlined right here. You can go ahead and just pause the video and take notes on that if you like. I'm not going to dwell on it any further. Alright, the last thing to do is to show you how to use pivot tables. So if we go back to our Excel file, the sequence maker master, now we have that canvas tab. Now this is actually a different data set. It's been prepared a little bit better. I've filled in the activity types, I've filled in the configurations. If I wanted to, I could fill in the locations like this. Just takes a little bit of time, or you could write a little script to do it for you. Anyway, I filled it in so that there will be a value for every cell in each row. For the rows I'll be using to slice the data. I've also included another column. This is the methodology column. There's waterfall and there's agile. I could also include a column for maybe company name, or for phase of the project, or year of the project, or anything I want to use to slice up the data. Then go to Insert, Pivot Table, Pivot Chart, hit OK, and you can begin slicing up the data. So let's say we want to look at the activity types used at Agile, using different Agile and Waterfall. Now I need to include activity type also as the values area, and it produces this. Here we go. This says that most executes, execute was used more at Agile than at Waterfall. Same with generate and validate, but negotiate was used more in the Waterfall. Now we could also change this to be percentages. So up here you'd go row labels, right click on count of activity type, change that to, and we can change this to % of column total. There we go. And now it's somewhat normalized. So 50% of the execute activities were done at Agile versus Waterfall. Things like that. You can mess with that a little bit. We could do other things like throw in activity types. Ooh, no, that'd be beastie. Let's try materiality as another delimiter. Let's filter out. Let's see. Let's filter out the blank column. Here it is. Right click blank, filter, hide selected items. There we go. So it got rid of blank. We can see that most execute activities are done digitally. When they're done physically, it's done in the waterfall methodology. Very interesting. Anyway, you can fiddle with the data any way you want. And that's all I have. If I think of something else, I'll make another video.